Well done. Well done, son. I'm so proud of you.
Let's be honest, there's definitely something about footage and photography that was shot decades ago that just hits you right in the feels. Unfortunately, these days you're going to see a lot more footage that is edited to look like it's retro, as opposed to footage that is actually retro itself. If you're a similar age to me, I'm pretty sure you've probably got some old home videos of you growing up around the house and things like that, and the chances are if you do, they were probably shot on something a bit like this. So I recently bought a Sony Handycam that was released in the late 90s, and it shoots on 8mm tapes. The camera, a nice bag for it to live in, and some wires to help hook it up to the TV, cost me £80. So I actually bought this camera for a few different reasons. Firstly, because I think it's just really good to keep these old mediums alive, but I actually do think it's got a use for some potential clients. For example, I think in like a sports or fashion setting, it could work really well, like quick little cutaway shots to like a VHS style. Being able to offer that authentically and not have to do it in the edit, I think is quite cool. It hadn't really dawned on me that I could actually just document my life through this as well. It's so easy to use and so lightweight. It's just quite a fun thing to carry around and capture everyday moments. Over the years, I've accumulated so much footage on my phone of me and my friend at the gym, but I honestly think in a few years' time, watching this back is going to make me smile so much. Hilariously as well, I think this camera is quite ahead of the curve because it's got that flip screen, which means you can technically vlog on it. I even attached it to my tripod and filmed some good old-fashioned walking through the woods, but as much as it does this very well, I think this camera kind of comes into its own when you just use it like a dad would, just point it randomly at things and use it with your friends in like a relaxed way. So if you'd like to pick up one of these cameras but you're not quite sure how to use it, let's have a look. So straight away you want to get a tape in there. It's got two modes, a camera mode and a playback mode, and yeah, they're pretty self-explanatory. Playback mode allows you to watch things back and you can scan through the tape using these buttons. Then in camera mode, you can either shoot whilst looking at the screen, but personally I prefer to look through the viewfinder. It's quite cool as well, depending on how you like to hold the camera, the record and zoom buttons will be in both places, so yeah, it's quite a nice touch. So you might be thinking, well, that's all well and good, but how do I get it from the tape onto my computer and then into my editing software? And thankfully there is quite an easy way. So I bought this adapter from Amazon for around about £20, and essentially it just allows you to convert it to USB. I plugged it into my MacBook the first time and it installed a driver. And then just go on playback mode on the camera, start playing from the beginning and hit record in QuickTime. The only issue I've found so far is that when I'm recording in the footage, if I also try and record in the audio at the same time, the footage then starts being a bit jittery, so I'm recording it in separately at the moment and then syncing it in post, which is a bit long-winded. So yeah, if you know why that is or if there's a better option, just leave in the comments because yeah, I'm sure it'll help a lot of people out. I think if you love the look from this era, there's definitely a strong case to be made to get your hands on one of these cameras, considering that they're still quite cheap. It definitely makes you realize as well, like just how far consumer level filmmaking has come in the last 25 years. Going from these tapes and that kind of resolution to what we've got now is absolutely unbelievable. I've said in some videos before that whenever I use these older cameras, it always makes the footage and photos feel so much better. I always look back on them so much more fondly, so I would definitely suggest if you were going to shoot like a summer holiday or a few weeks worth of like everyday stuff on this camera, I guarantee you that in a few years time you're going to look back on it with a massive smile on your face. And I think at the end of the day, like, isn't that just kind of what filmmaking is all about? Like at its core, you are just creating something so somebody can feel, even if that person is you. I'll see you next time. Cheers.